You are watching the Noise Commander 3DS channel. Here I document the progress of my homebrew beatmaking app for the Nintendo 3DS and 2DS that I develop. Think DJ mixing of tracker-style sequences with groovebox features such as probability and Euclidean rhythms. Please subscribe if that sounds interesting to you and install the demo version via the Universal Updater app on your console. So, there are 4 changes. Change number 1 is playlists. Press D-pad down to open the file browser. You can move the cursor to the other side with the circle pad if you like. Press B to go one up and go into the tracks directory. Press X to open the file operations context menu. Select new playlist and enter a name. You cannot see it in the recording, but the Nintendo keyboard widget appears at the bottom. Now the panel type has changed to playlist mode. You can cycle through the panel types by pressing select. Now if I move to the tracks directory, then I can add the currently selected NSM file by pressing X and choosing either copy or add to playlist. Instead of doing it one by one, I can also hold X and move around with the circle pad to select multiple files. Once populated, the items in the playlist can be reordered by holding A and moving the circle pad up or down. The playlist is saved on the fly so that changes are persistent. You can delete multiple selected items or copy them from one playlist to the other. Now load the selected song by pressing A twice, then press Start to play it. This play button is change number 2 and a feature requested by Mediafile. I really like it and it feels very intuitive to me. I imagine the lack of a play button has been alienating people before. Note that the title bar now displays the file name of the currently loaded song. Press up on the D-pad to show the clip launching view. Pressing start here will play the current row immediately, which allows to quickly preview different sections of the song. This only applies as long the other deck is not playing, however. If another deck is playing, then the row will be queued to start at the next bar. Note that you can press select here to make the current row loop forever. Press again to disable looping. If you press up on the D-pad from here again, you see the DJ mixer with the crossfader at the bottom. I added dedicated play buttons here as well as a reset button which recenters all of the crossfaders. You can switch between the file browser and the clip launcher with the up and down buttons while you're organizing your playlist and to preview different tracks. I also fixed an issue with the track gain sliders so they work as expected now. The buttons in the lower corner are for disabling the respective deck completely in order to reduce CPU usage when not in use. If you attempt to load a song while the current deck is playing, then an additional warning will appear and you need to confirm one more time. This can prevent you from accidentally disrupting the mix. Most likely you will want to cancel by pressing B and then switch to the other deck by pressing X. Then load the song here instead. So this is the new playlist DJing workflow. Before it was much more difficult to control where the playhead would be when making a transition. And without playlists you would have to remember which file to load next, and that can be a waste of valuable seconds in the heat of the process. I will add cue points in the future as well. The third change is that the master and bus effects are now saved and recalled with the file. To make this possible, the effects had to be doubled so that each deck has their own. This uses significantly more CPU resources, which is why Deck B is initially disabled. Change number 4 is a collection of small enhancements in the file browser. When there are more items than the screen can fit, a visual scroll bar appears to indicate the possibility of paging. When you page by pressing L or R, the cursor now stays put. Previously it would move to the top or bottom, which I found annoying. I added previously missing operations that you'd expect, such as moving, renaming and duplicating files. Most operations support multi-selections. You currently cannot delete or copy non-empty directories, however. I will add this later. These are the updates in version 0013. Next I will look into adding envelopes, LFOs and more automation lanes. You can try Noise Commander by installing the demo version through the Universal Updater. If you would like to support the development, then please join my Patreon. I hope you liked this update and I will see you again in the next video.
Mm-hmm.